Hi, this is Shannon. This is Cycle 1, Week 6, Tutor and Memory Work Ideas. If you're new to my channel, I am a homeschooling mom of 3 little ones, and we are part of Classical Conversations, which we love, and I have the privilege of tutoring the Abecedarians this year, so that's the little ones, so 4 through 6 years old. I'm excited to share with you these plans for tutoring this week, and you can also use these ideas at home to practice the memory work as well. Make sure you stick around to the end of this video. I have some more activities for this week that you can download for free, and there are games and activities you can do to help practice the memory work with your kids at home. So I will explain how to get those at the end of this video. We're going to start with English this week. If you've watched my previous videos, you've seen this, but I like to get each of them a preschool line notebook. I get these over the summer, and I start with the first week with them. I decorate them with each kid's name, and I have a biology design that's related to our cycle, Cycle 1. So I do have a template of this that you can download if you're interested on my blog. I'll link it below. This is not an actual name of a kid in my group. I just made it up to show you. But I decorate their books. So again, I do this over the summer. And then for each week, then I have the prepositions we are doing. Now you can see some of them I wrote normally. One of them I left a blank line. And 2 of them I just did a little dot so the kids could trace them. This week we're starting with the preposition down and ending with from. I wanted to show you this because you can really customize this for the level of your kids in your group. So for some of the older kids, you might want to leave more blanks and let them try to write them on their own. For your younger kids, you might want to write all of them for them and just have them kind of trace your writing, or do the dots so they can trace them, whatever you think makes sense for the level of kids. And you can customize the books for each kid. It takes like just a few minutes to write them out. So you might have some younger, some older kids. These are sitting on the table when the kids walk in. They open their books to this page and they start practicing writing. Now, obviously, I'm walking around helping them. The parents are helping them depending on their level and how much help they need. All the prepositions are written on my tutor board so they can see that. And I'm, referring to that and pointing to those as we do this. Then once they've had a chance to write them down, then I have them watch me do the motions for the ones that we're doing this week, and then we're going to try the song from the beginning through this week. Last week we ended with concerning, like this, and this week we start with down. So I'm going to put my hands on my knees and squat down, so my hands are on my knees. Down, then during, I stay squatted. So down, hands are on my knees, during, except, I cross my arms like that. Then I stand up and do for, so I hold my hands out like that, for, from. So again, that was down, during, except, for, from. All right, I'm going to try to do all the motions from the beginning, week 2 through this week, week 6. So here we go. A preposition, toot, to toot, relates a noun, toot, to toot, or pronoun to. Toot, to toot, another word, toot, to toot. About, above, across, after, against, along, amid, among, around, at, atop, before, behind, below, beneath, beside, between, beyond, but, by, concerning, down, during, except, for, from. So that is from the beginning, week 2 through week 6. At the end, I like to give them a sticker to put on their book. I give them a sticker each week, and by the end of the year, they'll have 24 plus stickers on their books, and then they get to take them home. So that is English this week. For timeline this week, I have my timeline cards that I got from the Classical Conversations bookstore. I'll link below if you're interested. And I put the letter of each event, so the first letter of each event on each card with these big letters I got from the dollar store. They've always been at the dollar store anytime I've gone there, so if you want them. Hopefully you can find them. I'll link below where you can find them online too. I would highly recommend getting these timeline cards. They're really great to have. We use them at home and during our community group. They're really great. So this week we're going to do something different and really fun. I'm going to have one kid go outside the room and shut the door. You could have a parent go out there, or you could have two kids go out if you have a little bit bigger group. It might be good to do two kids at a time. So, because otherwise it could take a little bit too much time. But you're going to have one or two kids go outside the room, and then the other kids in the group are going to hide one or two timeline cards somewhere around the room. And then once they're hidden, you're going to tell them that, okay, the kid that was standing outside the room is going to come in and they're going to try to find the card. We can't tell them where it is, but what we're going to do is we're going to sing the timeline song together. The events this week, that part of the timeline song, we're going to sing it. We're going to sing it louder if they get close to the cards and quieter if they're far away from the cards, and that will clue them where the cards are. So you let the kid in, you kind of explain that to the kid too. When we sing louder, that means you're close. When we sing quieter, that means you're far away. And you probably want to practice this before your tutor day, and you could practice this all together with the kids before you even start this if you want, but they should have heard it during the big community group time before our tutor time too. Anyway, so what I'm talking about is just singing this event. So like India's Mauryan Empire, Mayans of Mesoamerica. So you'll be singing that. Punic Wars, you'll get quieter if the kid's far away from the cards. And Punic Wars, if the kid's close to them, you'll get louder. I did this last year and the kids just loved it. Now they're not going to be able to sing along a ton with you, but hopefully some of them will try, but you're really going to be leading the singing, obviously, unless you have a couple older kids that really can do it well, but they still love it and they're hearing that timeline song a lot. So I think it's really great. Then once they find the one or two cards that are hidden, you can have them put them up on the wall. You can have painter's tape up on the wall, like 7 pieces, and then they can put the cards up there in the right spot as they're found. Now, all the kids are probably going to want to do this, so think about, should you have one or two kids go at a time? Should you have one or two timeline cards hidden at a time? You know, figure that out depending on the number of kids in your group. So this is really, again, I did this last year and it was a hit every time I did it. And so I hope if you try it, it works really well and is really fun. Also, if you want to have your kids do the timeline motions too, then here they are. India's Mauryan Empire, Mayans of Mesoamerica, Punic, so you make that P, Punic Wars, Rome conquers Greece, so you bring your fingers down your nose like that. Roman dictator Julius Caesar, Caesar Augustus, and the Pax Romana, so you're making like P's and going across your arms. Pax Romana. John the Baptist, so we're doing our thumbs dip into water and out. I like that one. John the Baptist. That is timeline this week. For geography this week, we are learning about ancient Greece. So I have my Trivium table map here. You can see I outlined each of the places we're learning about in dry erase marker. I like to do this because my kids are younger, and so then they can color them in. And I think with older kids, they could probably find the places without them being outlined, but with younger kids, I like at least outlining them. So the first one is Greece, outlined in red, and then we've got Macedonia, which is orange above Greece. We've got the Aegean Sea, which is blue, Crete in green, and Rhodes in purple. So I'm going to give my kids these little erasers. I have a little rainbow and a little cloud. I just found them at Target really cheap. I like them because they're just really simple and the kids really enjoy them and they're really great to point to the places with. So I usually, if I find cute erasers at Target or the dollar store, I just pick them up because I always use them. All right, so we're going to start with Greece. So I'm going to encourage my kids to point to the different places with their eraser as we talk about them. So Greece, Macedonia, Aegean Sea, Crete, and Rhodes. And then I'm going to teach them a song to Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. It goes like this. We're going to start with Macedonia. So I tell them to put it on the orange part first. Ancient Greece, Macedonia, Greece, Aegean Sea, Crete, and Rhodes. Macedonia, Greece, Aegean Sea, Crete, and Rhodes. So one more time it was Ancient Greece, Macedonia, Greece, Aegean Sea, Crete, and Rhodes. Macedonia, Greece, Aegean Sea, Crete, and Rhodes. For math this week, we are skip counting the 11s and the 12s. So the 11s, we're going to sing to the Classical Conversations tune, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. And we're going to first row slowly, and then we're going to go row a little bit faster, and then we're going to go really fast as we sing the 11s, and then we're going to row through gentle waters and rough waters. So you can do all kinds of things with that. So each time we sing the 11s, we're going to row a different way. So it goes like this. It's to the tune, Row, Row, Row Your Boat. 11, 22, 33 and 44, 55, 66, 77, 88, 99, 110, 121, 132, 143, 154, 165. So again, your kids can row as you sing that in different ways. And then we're going to do the 12s. And as we do the 12s, the tune reminds me of skipping. And so we're going to first just walk around the table when we sing the 12s, and then we're going to skip, and then we're going to lightly jog. You could do crawling just to be kind of silly. You could also, if you prefer, use these movement cards I made. I've showed these before, but you could have kids choose a different movement like pencil jumps or jumping jacks and do the 12s to that. The 12s go like this to the tune of Here We Go Round the Mulberry Bush. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96, 108, 120, 132, 144, 156, 168, 180. So that is math this week. For history this week, I'm going to do silly words again with my kids. I really love doing this and they love it. So what this means is I am going to sing or say the history sentence normally first for them. And this week we're learning about ancient Greeks. And I tell them to listen really, really carefully because then I'm going to sing it with some silly words put in. And I tell them, okay, when you hear a silly word, raise your hand and tell me, and then we'll talk about what it's supposed to be. So the normal way, it goes like this. Homer, a famous poet. Pythagoras, a famous mathematician. Socrates, a famous philosopher. And Archimedes, a famous inventor, shaped Western ideas. Ancient Greek city-states were among the first democracies. So then I'll say, okay, I'm going to throw some silly words in there. Listen carefully. Here we go. Homer, a famous panda. And I said, what? Panda? No, not panda. What should it be? Poet. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the beginning. Homer, a famous poet. Pythagoras, a friendly friendly? No, not friendly. What should it be? Oh, it should be a famous mathematician. Okay, so then I go back to the beginning again. The other silly words, so I did panda instead of poet. I did friendly instead of famous, photographer instead of philosopher, meatballs instead of inventor, winter instead of Western, geese instead of Greek, and fierce instead of first. So I hope that helps. That is history this week. For Latin this week, I brought my little puppet, Baldy. He hung out with us a lot last year because we were studying the United States, so he came back to visit us. And he is going to help us with our second declension noun endings. So what we're going to do is play Duck, Duck, Goose. Now, before we get down and sit on the ground in a circle, I'm going to sing the Latin tune for my kids so they become familiar with it, and Baldy's going to help me. So it goes like this. Us, e, o, o. Us, e, o, o. Us, e, o, o. Second, or singular, second declension. Eorum is os is. Eorum is os is. Eorum is os is. Plural, second declension. We're going to sit on the floor now in a circle, and I'm going to have one kid go first, and they get to put the puppet on their hand and tap each person on the back, or you could do head, but kind of like back, gently as we sing the song. And you can encourage the kids to try to sing along with you. Now, when you finish, so after you do the plural second declension, then whoever Baldy's touching when you're done, that person stands up and can have them, slowly run around the circle, and then they get to be the person with the puppet, and whoever was just the person with the puppet gets to sit down in their spot, and then you can keep playing that way. You can do it so each person gets a turn with the puppet. That is Latin this week. For science this week, we are learning about groups of vertebrates, and we are going to sing a song to the tune Dim Bones and also learn a few little hand motions. So our song goes like this. Major groups of vertebrates, animals with backbones, fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. So now with the motions for fish, we're going to do swimming like a fish like this. Amphibians, we're going to go like this, like hopping like a frog. Reptiles, we are going to make a snake motion with our finger. And then mammals, we're going to act like we're crawling on the floor. Birds, we're going to pretend that we're flying. So we'll try to sing the song and do those motions at the same time. Major groups of vertebrates, animals with backbones, fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. Major groups of vertebrates, animals with backbones, fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. That is science. You could also, if you don't want to do the hand motions, you could do silly voices to this song. So I've shown these before, but I made these silly voice cards. You can download. We've got like hold your tongue, soft voice, loud voice, snapping your fingers as you talk, opera style, things like that. So you could have them each choose a silly voice card, and you could practice singing the song to those silly voices. That would be fun too. The kids always love doing stuff in silly voices. So that is science this week. For review this week, I have this review bingo game, and then I have these 2 dice. I showed this last week if you want a review game. One of the dice is like actions, like hop like a bunny, blink like a lightning bug, and one of them is the subjects. So the kids can switch off rolling both dice, and then whichever they roll, then they find the action they rolled and then the subject under the action. So for example, if I rolled jump like a cricket, and then I find jump like a cricket, and then if I rolled history, then I go jump like a cricket down to history, and if I can answer a history question correctly, then you can mark that spot. So the children can work in teams or individually. And I like to think of questions on the fly, kind of like, what is the name of one of the Greek or Roman gods we learned about this year? Ooh, Zeus, good job, and you can start singing the song to remind them a little bit. Or for English, you could say, can you tell me a few of the prepositions that we've talked about this year so far? So you can cater it to the level of your kids and what you think they know. But this just is a fun little review game. You can download this for free from my blog, and I'll link below where you can find it. As promised, I want to show you the activities I have for this week that you can use at home to help your kids practice the memory work. So I have this map of ancient Greece where you can roll a die, and then whatever number your child rolls, they can try to guess what location that's called. And then I have my Latin bingo game. So this I've had on before, previous weeks. It includes all the Latin noun endings from weeks 3 through 12. And there's several different bingo boards so your whole family can play. It's a really fun way to review Latin. Then I have the ancient Greeks, a maze matching activity for that. I have skip counting activities, so I have the 12s and the 11s. And then I have this invertebrate vertebrate activity. I showed this last week too, these dominoes. The kids can match invertebrate to an invertebrate picture and then keep going. I also have my preposition cards. I've shown these before too. These include all the prepositions from weeks 2 through 12. So my family plays memory with them, but you could do a lot of different things with them. So you can find all these activities on my blog. I'll link below in the description how to find them. They are all free. My family just loves playing games, and I get really excited to just make activities and games that are fun for my kids and help us practice the memory work at the same time. So I'm excited to share them with you. They are totally free. You just download them. So I will write in the description how to get those. Follow me on Instagram. I like to post things that we do homeschooling wise as a family throughout the week. And if you are enjoying my videos, please subscribe to my channel. I am posting 2 videos per week related to homeschooling, what we do at home, classical conversations, tutoring, all those good things. So have a wonderful day, and thank you so much for watching.